He was the man everyone trusted, a pastor, a husband, a father. But one night, inside a quiet home in Texas, something horrifying happened behind closed doors. His wife was found lifeless in bed, a typed suicide note by her side. But there was one terrifying problem. She didn't write it. Matt Baker was the kind of man people looked up to. A charming Baptist minister, husband to a beautiful woman named Kari, and a devoted father to 2 little girls. Together, they were the perfect Christian family. Everyone adored them, their smiles, their kindness, their faith. But behind those smiles was a secret darker than anyone could imagine. On the night of April 7, 2006, Matt arrived home a little before midnight. He'd been out renting a movie and getting gas, just an ordinary errand. But as he walked through the front door, the air felt strange. The house was quiet. Too quiet. His daughters were asleep. His wife's bedroom door was locked. When he finally forced it open, what he saw froze him in place. Kari was lying still, her body motionless, cold. A bottle of sleeping pills on the nightstand. And next to it, a typed letter that simply said, "I'm sorry." Matt called 911, calm and clear. Too calm. He said he found his wife unresponsive, that he tried CPR, but nothing worked. By the time paramedics arrived, Kari was gone. Her family rushed over, desperate, crying, confused. Kari's mother, Linda, collapsed outside when the EMT told her the words no mother ever wants to hear. "Your daughter is dead." The police arrived soon after, and within minutes they had their conclusion. Suicide. They believed the letter. They believed Matt. After all, he was a pastor. Why would a man of God lie? Case closed, or so they thought. Too fast. Within 48 hours, her body was buried. No time to grieve, no questions asked. The church was overflowing. Folding chairs in the aisles, people standing outside just to hear the service. When it was over, Matt walked to the pulpit with his 2 little girls beside him and told everyone that God would carry them through. The crowd wept. But Kari's mother, Linda Doolin, sat silently. Her instincts screamed that something was wrong. Kari had told her she suspected Matt was having an affair. And now, only days after her death, Matt was standing in front of everyone, smiling through his tears, preaching about faith. Something didn't add up. Weeks passed. While the world saw Matt as a grieving husband, Linda saw him changing. He was cold, distant, and moving on too easily. Then she noticed something chilling. All of Kari's pictures had vanished from the house. Even worse, Linda realized she was slowly being pushed away from her granddaughters' lives. But when she looked through their shared phone bill, her blood ran cold. Kari's phone, the one police took after her death, was still active. Calls were being made, dozens of them, even to Matt's number. How could that be? When she confronted him, Matt said he'd given the phone to a church member who needed one. The explanation didn't sit right. It felt rehearsed, like a man who had already practiced his answers. Linda knew now. This wasn't a tragedy. This was a cover-up. She begged the police to reopen the case, but they refused. So she decided to fight back herself. With the help of a former U.S. attorney, Linda started digging, and what they uncovered shattered the image of Pastor Matt Baker. On Matt's computer, investigators found searches for things like sleeping pill overdose, made just weeks before Kari's death. They found adult sites, viewed from his church office. And then, a hidden message from Kari herself, scribbled in the margins of her Bible. "Lord, protect me from harm. I'm not sure what's going on with Matt, but help me find peace." It was Kari's voice, reaching out from beyond the grave, a warning no one had heard in time. But even with that evidence, there wasn't enough to charge him. Matt moved away with his daughters, started preaching again, and began telling his story to the media. He painted himself as a man of faith who had lost everything. Television interviews, magazine articles, he was the face of tragedy. Yet behind that smile the monster still hid. And then, 4 years later, a breakthrough. A name appeared. Vanessa Bulls, a young woman from Matt's church. The same woman who had been using Kari's old phone. She was subpoenaed to testify, and when she finally took the stand, the truth exploded into the open. Vanessa admitted everything. She and Matt were having an affair long before Kari's death. He had told her in chilling detail how he planned to kill his wife and make it look like suicide. He knew Kari took sleeping pills every night. So he planned to replace them with crushed Ambien. He'd handcuff her to bed, pretend to be intimate, and when she was too drowsy to fight, he'd use a pillow to end her life. Then he'd stage the scene and type the note. Vanessa said she begged him not to do it, but he looked at her and said, "If I get a divorce, I'll never be able to preach again. But if she dies, I'll be free." That night, he followed through. When Vanessa's testimony hit the courtroom, the truth was undeniable. Kari Baker didn't take her own life. Her husband did. And she wasn't the only victim. More than a dozen women came forward revealing Matt's pattern of predatory behavior, manipulation, harassment, abuse. He had hidden behind the cloth, using the power of faith to prey on those who trusted him the most. For years, he walked free, smiling from the pulpit, preaching forgiveness while hiding murder. But this time, he couldn't escape. In January 2010, Matt Baker was sentenced to 65 years in prison. And when the judge asked if anyone wanted to speak, Kari's mother finally stood up. Her voice shook as she faced the man she once called family. "You murdered the mother of your children. You destroyed our family. But you will never destroy her memory." Linda now raises Kari's daughters, Grace and Kenzie, in a loving home, far from the darkness that once haunted them. Every day she sees Kari in their smiles, and though her daughter's life was stolen, her story became something stronger, a reminder that evil can hide behind even the most trusted faces, and that sometimes faith alone isn't enough to see the truth.